Hey everybody. Well, I just got my Mac Studio Ultra M2 SSD upgrade from Polysoft Services that I ordered on Kickstarter. Just came in the other day and I'm finally going to get around to installing it. What's cool about this is you can double, triple, even quadruple your storage at a fraction of the price. Everybody knows Apple charges way too much money for their SSDs. But they made this little kit here, and what I have here is the 8 terabyte SSD. It has a 4 terabyte here and another 4 terabyte there. And then you're gonna basically disassemble, swap it out, put it in, bada bing bada boom. Your time machine backup, reload everything back up, and easy as that. What's also cool is they have this nice printed color manual. It's about 31 pages here, and it goes through everything you need on how to disassemble, how to install it. Not only that, they also supplied this small iFixit kit, which has all the parts you need right there. Perfect. They also come with this little spudger here, which you'll need to use at the very beginning. So, let's get started. So first, to get started, we're going to flip over the Mac Studio, put it upside down, and let's get started. And let's follow along with the instruction book. First thing you're going to do, you're going to take your little spudger, and you're going to try to get underneath this little black piece here. The tape holding it down is reusable, so don't worry about that. But you just kind of get it under here, pull it up, and just very carefully get it all the way around, pop it up, and there you go. And now we're going to lay this down. Also, I highly recommend writing out all the different screws and where they go so you don't mix them up. All right, so I went ahead and written out all this stuff here. You got a little spot for your bottom screws, PSU screws, the bus bar screws, SSD, the chassis screws. You have the large and the small ones, all right here so you don't mix them up. Okay. All right. First, we're going to take the T10 Torx bit here with our little iFixit kit, and we're going to take out all 4 of the bottom screws and put it in this little box that we have marked off there. Pretty easy, guys. Pretty sure almost anybody could do this, and especially since they provided the toolkit. All right, first thing, we're going to use our little smudger tool again. We're going to use this here to pry up the bottom plate, and that's it. And now we're going to take it off. All right. Also, this will be a good time to go ahead and clean out any dust you have here. Let me grab my little trusty rag. And don't worry, I'm going to blow it all out before we put it back together as well. So again, you're going to use your little smudger tool to pull off this little protector here, covering these little Torx bits that have some double-sided tape. And we're going to put it right there on the bus bar screws. All right, now these 2 Torx bits here are actually T10 Plus. However, the iFixit kit only comes with the T10. So it's not perfect, but it'll do. You just have to be careful so you don't strip it. So you want to carefully take these out. Oh, come on. There we go. And then do the other one. This is for... All right, there we go. All right. Now we're going to take out the 4 screws holding the power supply. All right, now we're gonna lift up the power supply. Again, we have to be very careful because there's actually wires and clips on both ends. So back here on the back end, we have a very thin 2-wire clip that we just slide out. And then over here, we have a bigger main power one that we just clip. We pinch it and pull it out. Oh, there it is. And that's it. This is Apple's power supply. I will say, for all the crap I give them, it sure is a work of art though. Look at that. All black power supply. It looks very nice. I like it. But at least for all the money you spend, at least it looks good. Alright guys, so we're going to take apart the main chassis now. There's 8 screws total. 7 of them are going to be longer, going around the frame. And then the 8th one is going to be a little short one, which is right above the main socket, which should be right there. Alright, so let's start over here. We're going to take out the 7, what they call longer screws. Not really long, but they're longer than the other one. So we're just going to work our way around. And this should be the 8th and shorter one here. Yep. We'll call that the small one. And then now, the chassis comes out. Look at there. And then now it reveals the SSDs. See, I had the 1 terabyte model, which is right here. And then here, if you look over here, we have the second one. Alright, again, we're going to use our little spudger tool. I already pried it up a little bit. Get that off the SSD there. Now we're going to take a T8 Torx bit, and we're going to pull out the old SSD. And now we should be able to just pull out the old SSD. And here is the old 1 terabyte SSD. I'm just going to put it right there. All right, that's it for disassemble and taking out the old one. Now we're going to put in the new ones. All right, and here we go. Now we're going to pull out the drives here. So we have here, we have a 00 and a 01. The 00 is going to replace the main one that you took out. Here on the M2 Ultra, the 00 goes on this side. And the 01 will go over here on the other side. Also, since this had 1 drive, now it's going to come with 2. If you notice, there's no extra screw. But Polysoft Services thought of that, and they included the extra screw in here. So now we're going to open them up and install everything. And we're going to use my handy dandy opening knife here. And I dropped the screw. Oh, of course I did. All right, now that we found the screw here, now let's open the drive. All right. Again, 0, 0 goes into the slot that you already took out. And you want to slide it in, line it up. Now we're going to screw the first one back down. If the screw will cooperate with me, which it's not. Of course not. And I slide the little cover back over. All right, now we're going to open up the other one. Pull this out. And we're going to install this one over on the other side. Get it in there, make sure it's good and seated. Now we're going to take the extra screw that Polysoft provided, and we're going to screw that down. All right, that is basically it for that part. Now we're going to reassemble everything back in the order that we took everything off. So basically you can just kind of watch the video in reverse, and then we'll put it all back on. So if we look in here, first it's going to be the chassis, and yep, that one will go there. Make sure everything's back in the right place. All right. Now we don't need that. Now we need the small one. And if you remember, the small one goes where the main power was. So we'll put that right back there. And then we're going to put the other 7 longer screws all the way back and all the way around. All right, now that takes care of that part. Now we're going to put the power supply back in. And again, I'm going to turn this around to make it a little easier. If you remember, it's upside down. You have the main connector here. Snap it in place. And you can turn this to make it easier. Then you have the smaller connector right there, and bada bing, bada boom. Now you just need to position it in between the 4 posts, just like so. All right. We're going to screw those back down. Again, you want to make sure these are tight, but not overly tight. But they need to be tight so that the power supply covers everything else. Or you'll have issues with the Mac turning on later. All right, now you want to do the bus bar screws again. along with the bus bar screw cover. All right. All right. Now we're going to put the plate on, and you might think it says Mac Studio to the front, but if you see there's the Kensington lock hole there, you want to make sure it matches the Kensington lock hole right here. So it goes this way. And you just reinstall the 4 screws just like you took them out. Woo! I'm still spry in my old age. Look out. Like a cat. And last but not least, the final one. All right. Now you take your little black ring here, and the clean end is what's gonna go on the tape side, because the beat up one is what's on there. You just place it around, give it a good little rub around there, and the double-sided sticky tape does great. And now it'll come back up. That's it for part 1. Now the fun part, plugging it all back in and reloading the operating system on it. However, Apple, in their infinite wisdom, decided to not let you reload the OS from a USB stick or from the cloud like they used to. No, instead, now you have to have a second Apple device plugged into it for it to automatically load the operating system on. Yay, Apple. So basically now we need to use a second Mac. I have here a MacBook Air, an M1 MacBook Air. You need to run the USB-C cable from the USB-C port next to the RJ45 port, which is the Ethernet cable port, and run it to any of the cables in the MacBook Air. Okay, to put the Mac Studio in DFU mode, you have to hold the power button down while you insert the power cable. Then the other Mac should recognize that this Mac is in trouble, and it should pop up on your screen. So here we go, holding down the power. And there we go. We have allow accessory to connect. Do you want to connect your Apple mobile device, DFU mode? Yes. So we're going to hit allow. All right. Software, Mac DFU mode. Are you experiencing problems? If you want to be able to revive, you can restore it to its factory setting by clicking restore. All right. So we're going to hit restore Mac. Software update is required to restore your Mac. Would you like to download and install? Yes. All right, now that it downloaded the update it needed, we're going to hit restore Mac again. Are you sure you want to restore Mac to its factory settings? All of your data will be erased. Yes. Now it's going to take about 15 minutes. So with that said, I'll come back when it's done. All right, the Mac is finished restoring, and I just heard the Mac start up over here. So now we're going to disconnect. All right, now that the Mac has been restored, now we got to go through the setup process. Just click through here like normal. However, if you listen to the instructions, you should have made a backup with Time Machine. And so we're going to, right here, we're going to pick we're going to migrate from Mac Time Machine backup. So we're going to hit continue. We're going to click Time Machine. We're going to click that one. You can look at others if you wanted, but this will be the most up-to-date one. We're going to hit continue. And that's about it. Now we're going to wait for it to finish uploading here. It's calculating everything. And just like that, magic, it'll all be put back. Just hit continue. And you gotta create your password. Set password, hit continue, and that's it. Now it's gonna start loading everything back up. This will take several minutes, so that should be it. I'll come back when it's done.